Welcome back to Houston Life. As we prepare to celebrate Independence Day, a new film is taking audiences back to where America's story began.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Young Washington explores the early life of George Washington before he became the nation's first president, with a look at the experience that shaped one of history's most recognizable figures. I caught up with some of the cast for a preview.
Why can I not become a British officer?
Because you are not British, George. There must be a path.
There is not for you.
William, this is a pretty big deal as we celebrate America's 250th birthday.
Yes.
It's the perfect weekend to check out young Washington.
I know, isn't it? There's not a better time.
Hey, this is pretty incredible. I mean, there are some roles to play, and then there's George Washington, right? So I want you to tell our viewers a little bit about the film and how it's kind of set up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this film is about everything you don't know, really, about George Washington. I feel like everybody's familiar with him, everybody knows about him, but really his elder years. And so what this film really dives into is, where did the ambition come from? Where did this man get his determination from? And where did he find the courage? So I think you see that throughout this film, but you also see a young man trying to figure out the levels and sort of mess to life, you know? It's really a coming-of-age growing story as well, but also a man that, I suppose, has all this responsibility and how he deals with that.
Before filming and getting into this, what was the biggest misconception you thought you knew about George Washington?
You know, I love taking a moment to just let a story deeply move me. And I had started studying the American Revolution, not to make a movie. I just fell in love with the stories, and I fell in love with just the character of Washington, and then trying to figure out who was the person underneath the myth. And I think what I learned that maybe surprised me was, you think of him as a very stoic character, but he was actually a man of like great emotion. Like his personality was like the lid on a volcano, and he had a temper. And so a lot of his early life and this early hero's journey and this adventure that he goes on was him learning to tame himself. So before he could forge a nation, he had to forge himself. And that happened through hardship and adventure and failure. And so it just struck me that his kind of like self-forging and just how passionate his personality actually was under the hood of something very controlled.
Absolutely. Kelsey, what made you, for obvious reasons, want to be a part of this production?
Well, so I'm a big fan of John's, and I think he makes good movies. We had done something together, Jesus Revolution, a few years back, and so this is a match made in heaven as far as I'm concerned. I really enjoy working with him. But when I just got the call, can you come to Ireland for a couple of days and shoot Lord Fairfax? I thought, well, yeah, why not? I mean, I've got a foot operation in a week, so...
That he delayed just for this movie.
Yeah, I did, so it was okay. We got that done. But it's always a presumptive joy when somebody says to an actor, come play a part you never played before in your life. Lord Fairfax is a fascinating guy. He is pivotal in this story. We probably invented part of why he's pivotal, but he was in that period. He was a dynamic presence in that period of George Washington's life. So, you know, maybe we got a little bit, maybe we told stories a little bit within the context of that, but there was, he gave him his first mission. He basically said, we need to get this done. Off you go.
He was definitely Washington's patron.
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't have Washington walked through that door. You know?
It's a beautiful thing. And so, you know, it's nice to give somebody the nod. And people ask, you know, what is it about people that do that? Well, people of great accomplishment tend to feel like they have to make sure somebody else is going to carry on that tradition. And I think he recognizes in George Washington this young man that has the same fire he had.
I'm telling you guys, if you ever need to make a phone call, hey, you're sitting down, you want to come to Ireland, I'm open all the time.
Okay, done.
Okay.
Done. We tried. We couldn't find your number. And
who's the gal in
and
Houston?
we really wanted it.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's going to be super special ahead of a very special holiday weekend. America's 250th, July 3rd, the film is out, Young Washington. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for putting this together, because I was telling William, I didn't know much about George Washington, embarrassingly enough, right? So I'm excited to get in there and learn with the rest of our viewers, the rest of Houston, all about his story. So thank you guys again.
Thank you so much.
I mean, really, really cool to chat with all three of them.
Kelsey Grammer, I mean, that's a big deal.
Lord Fairfax is the role that he plays.
I love it. I'm going to watch this now.
Yeah, you should. I've got a whole interview with the entire cast. Young Washington right there. Click on the Scene On section of HoustonLife.tv, because besides knowing that he was on the dollar bill, first president, you're going to learn a lot of stuff about George Washington.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good
Now
stuff.
you know.
Now we know.
All right.